So the FBI people, I'm going to tell you, are ticked. And they're going to be saying, I guarantee it, you think you can push us off this because you can try to intimidate the director?
Take on the intelligence community. They have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you.
You better think again, Mr. President. You've been around for 13 months. We've been around since 1908. I know how this game is going to be played. We're going to win.
This order was turned down by a court. Was there any request made by the FBI or Justice Department to wiretap Donald Trump turned down by a court?
That's one of those subjects I can't comment on one way or another. Please don't interpret that in any way other than I just can't talk about anything that relates to the FISA process in an open setting.
What the heck are you talking about?
Our movement is about replacing a failed and corrupt political establishment with a new government controlled by you, the American people. The Washington establishment and the financial and media corporations that fund it exist for only one reason: to protect and enrich itself. The establishment has trillions of dollars at stake in this election. For those who control the levers of power in Washington and for the global special interest, they partner with these people that don't have your good in mind. Our campaign represents a true existential threat like they haven't seen before. This is not simply another 4-year election. This is a crossroads in the history of our civilization that will determine whether or not we, the people, reclaim control over our government. The political establishment that is trying to stop us is the same group responsible for our disastrous trade deals, massive illegal immigration, and economic and foreign policies that have bled our country dry. It's a global power structure that is responsible for the economic decisions that have robbed our working class, stripped our country of its wealth, and put that money into the pockets of a handful of large corporations and political entities. This is a struggle for the survival of our nation, and this will be our last chance to save it. This election will determine whether we're a free nation or whether we have only the illusion of democracy, but are in fact controlled by a small handful of global special interests rigging the system, and our system is rigged. This is reality. You know it, they know it, I know it, and pretty much the whole world knows it. The Clinton machine is at the center of this power structure. We've seen this firsthand in the WikiLeaks documents, in which Hillary Clinton meets in secret with international banks to plot the destruction of U.S. sovereignty in order to enrich these global financial powers, her special interest friends, and her donors. Honestly, she should be locked up. And the establishment that protects them has engaged in a massive cover-up of widespread criminal activity at the State Department and the Clinton Foundation in order to keep the Clintons in power. They knew they would throw every lie they could at me and my family and my loved ones. They knew they would stop at nothing to try to stop me. Nevertheless, I take all of these slings and arrows gladly for you. I take them for our movement so that we can have our country back. I knew this day would arrive. It's only a question of when. And I knew the American people would rise above it and vote for the future they deserve. The only thing that can stop this corrupt machine is you. The only force strong enough to save our country is us. The only people brave enough to vote out this corrupt establishment is you, the American people. Our great civilization has come upon a moment of reckoning. I didn't need to do this, folks, believe me. I built a great company, and I had a wonderful life. I could have enjoyed the fruits and benefits of years of successful business deals and businesses for myself and my family, instead of going through this absolute horror show of lies, deceptions, malicious attacks. Who would have thought? I'm doing it because this country has given me so much, and I feel so strongly that it's my turn to give back to the country that I love. I'm doing this for the people and for the movement, and we will take back this country for you, and we will make America great again.
Third, the president stated, "I'd bet a good lawyer could make a great case out of the fact that President Obama was tapping my phones in October just prior to the election." Director Comey, you're a good lawyer. Can you make out a great case that President Obama wiretapped Mr. Trump's phones just prior to the election, in light of the fact you have said there's no evidence of that?
All I can say is what I said before, that we don't have any information that supports those tweets.
A dossier paid for by the Democratic Party was used as a basis to spy on American citizens.
The dossier, we couldn't validate the sources in it. So I don't know if there was collusion or not. I don't know if there is evidence of collusion.
If the FBI, for instance, had a FISA court order of some sort for a surveillance, would that be information you would know or not know?
Yes.
And at this point, you can't confirm or deny whether that exists?
I can deny it.
I would be surprised if they haven't spied on him. They spy on everybody else.
Congress doing its job in conducting legitimate oversight over a very unique law, FISA. And if mistakes were made and if individuals did something wrong, then it is our job as the legislative branch of government to conduct oversight over the executive branch if abuses were made.
Well, my experience with FISA, requests for FISA authorizations, is this is not a casual process. By the way, the FISA court is not a pushover. They're not a rubber stamp.
Totally lies. It is so obvious that the special counsel needs to be shut down immediately. If we as a country, if we care about the Constitution, if we believe in civil liberties, if we believe in those protections, then the special counsel must be disbanded immediately. And by the way, nobody else will say this, all charges against Paul Manafort and General Michael Flynn need to be dropped. It's that simple.
Mic check.
Our intelligence community has the ability to listen to every phone call. Every one of your phone calls could be listened to if they wanted to. Every one of your emails can be tracked. Every one of your phone, who you call and how long you speak can be tracked. Every bank transaction can be tracked. And so I think because men are not angels and women aren't either, is that there could be bias enter into the intelligence community, and we have to be very, very careful that someone gives them a check and a balance, and that check and a balance should be a judge and a warrant.
I just think that's not proper.
A pattern of obstruction of justice. Systemic series of abuses at the FBI that really call into question the whole FISA court process.
Are at war with Russia.
So would you say that Russia engaged in hybrid warfare in its effort to undermine our democratic process and engage
Russian interference in our political process?
Director Comey?
They engaged in a multifaceted campaign of active measures to undermine our democracy and hurt one of the candidates and hope to help one of the other candidates.
It was an act of war.
You said we were attacked by Russia.
As a country, attacked us the way that Russia has.
And the objectives of Vladimir Putin and ambitions of Vladimir Putin, for Vladimir Putin.
Carrying water for the Kremlin, Russian television.
Russian scum!
I think it's disgusting. I think it's pathetic. Vladimir Putin, a Russian dictator, fabricated, manufactured, hack, partisan sideshow.
A political stunt. Being part of the deep state.
We are allowing the Russians to win. The Russians' involvement in our elections
is an absolute disgrace. I think this is a dark day in American history.
Mic check.